Chargers are going to be in camp today. They're going to do so with that man under center, Justin Herbert. Damian Woody, I ask you, I feel like it's the Groundhog's Day here. What must Justin Herbert do to finally dethrone Patrick Mahomes in the AFC West?
Outside of Patrick Mahomes getting hurt, like, it would
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
No pun intended, your name is Woody.
All of that. It would be Justin Herbert playing the best at the biggest clubs. Like, with him, we've always said, like, if you make him in the lab, he will be the guy. But he needs to come up big in those big moments. That's when he'll be able to go neck and neck with Patrick Mahomes.
Mike T, you got Harbaugh as the coach, you got Herbert as the quarterback, you've got a lot of veterans on defense. You're as big a fan of Herbert and Harbaugh as anybody. Do you think the Chargers can actually challenge this year?
Yes, O'Marion Hampton, you are that name, guys. He is an explosive running back, 5.7 yards per carry at North Carolina. But more importantly, he had 73 catches, which is exactly what Greg Roman, their offensive coordinator, wants. So if I am the Chargers, I am trying to score points. I'm also playing a little keep away from the Chiefs. I do think they're built to do it. I don't know if they will, but this should be the year if they're ever going to get it.
They've beaten the Chiefs before, but it feels like every time in recent years it comes down to a field goal or some strange thing at the end, and the Chiefs come out on top. Let's go to a different team. Aaron Rodgers starting out with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Once and for all, we're going to see football being played with Aaron Rodgers under center and not just talking about him all off season. The Aaron Rodgers experiment has been a major talking point in the last 6 months here on this show. Will it work out once we actually see actual football there?
I'm not seeing it. I mean, look, we haven't seen that from this guy in several years. But the stat was 17 different quarterbacks have won playoff games since Aaron Rodgers last did it. He's going to turn 42 this year. The list of quarterbacks that have had high-level, championship-level success past the age of 40 has exactly one name on it, and it's not Aaron Rodgers. I'm just not seeing it. Based on what we've seen the last 2-3 years with Aaron Rodgers, I don't see him elevating the Steelers beyond what they've been lately.
D-Wood, is there a scenario where you see Rodgers taking this team, grabbing him on the shoulder and saying, hey guys, I'm finally here, veteran quarterback, Big Ben's gone, I'm the next guy, let's go, and they're Super Bowl?
Well, first of all, let me say, I think the Steelers have told us that their expectation is Super Bowl by all the moves that they've made. Now, do I believe they're Super Bowl contenders? Absolutely not. Because, listen, we're talking about a 41, 42, to be 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's rare for us to see a quarterback at that advanced age to do anything close to that. Like, Tom Brady has been the only guy to truly elevate a squad and go out and win a Super Bowl. And now we're asking Aaron Rodgers to do that. I have a hard time seeing that.
Well, look, even if it goes well, it's hard to think he's not the third best quarterback, right, with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. And I think for them to be successful, a little bit what we just talked about with the Chargers, Caleb Johnson, third-round running back out of Iowa. When we think about Arthur Smith, what he wants to do, who roll them out, it's all off of outside zone, run game. If Caleb Johnson plays well, this is a team that could get back to the playoffs.
If you play fantasy football, I will tell you this. Calvin Austin is a name that I keep on hearing from these Steelers folks, that they do have a legitimate number 2 outside of Metcalf, and of course they're going to run the football.
Listen, here's my opinion. It's like, getting back to the playoffs is not enough. Like, Mike Tomlin does that in his sleep. You don't make these moves unless you know, in the building, you're saying enough is enough for just making the playoffs and being a first-round exit. We want to contend for a Super Bowl. That's why they made all these moves. Now, again, I said it's not enough, but going off what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done, I'm assuming their expectation is we're going to be a Super Bowl contending team.
This is a little thing, like, strange to say, but Aaron Rodgers is actually a very well-known bridge quarterback, because when they didn't take Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders in the first round, they basically said, hey, we couldn't win with Russell Wilson. We're not convinced about Justin Fields. Let's go get Aaron Rodgers in a rental market for 1 year and look at the quarterback position again, which I know it's like...
Makes some sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's he has the mystique of more than obviously a bridge quarterback, but if you're really looking on paper what you're paying him, I just thought, wow, I really thought they were going to draft a quarterback in the first round. When they didn't, this is where, literally their only option was.
I saw that movie F1. I don't know if you guys saw it. Brad Pitt comes out of like retirement and he comes up there, shows up with his hair in the wind, and he leads his squad all the way back. Yeah, maybe that's it.
But you know what? Here's what's one.
He's not Brad Pitt?
No, he's not Brad Pitt. But here's the one thing that Aaron Rodgers has going for him, as opposed to the past couple of years. He's not asking himself. He's not asking.
He is though. They're bringing him in. You're telling me they're Super Bowl.
Come on. You're in this. We both live in the tri-state area. You know what the Jets asked of Aaron Rodgers.
Everything.
Okay, that's not the same thing in Pittsburgh. When you got Mike Tomlin, you got the culture in Pittsburgh. Now you just focus on playing football. I think that's if there's one thing I can say in favor of Aaron Rodgers in this situation, is that the whole weight of the organization isn't on him to get the job done.
So the whole weight of the organization's not on him. He's a bridge quarterback. Like, how does this equate to Super Bowl? By the way, I've watched the last 14 Super Bowls. I didn't see Aaron Rodgers in any of them. I don't understand why we think this is gonna. He hasn't been able to elevate better teams than this in the Super Bowl when he was in his prime.
But here's the thing. You said, why are we? Who is we? Who is we? Like to me, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I said something.
The moves that they're making.
The host.
I think they're Super Bowl contenders.
There you go.
I do.
I'll give you this.
I think they win 10 games every year with an inferior quarterback play since Rodgers.
I'll give you this.
I think Rodgers is an upgrade from last
I'll give you this. From the premise of, and I've always felt this way, my coaches always said, just get in the tournament and let's see what happens. But from that premise right there, you're correct. But do you really believe the Pittsburgh Steelers are Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, but Peter, just walk us through, how are they not better than the third place team in the division?
Of course, to your point, they're going to come into the season just like last year. We never say the Commanders were going to win the NFC East or challenge in that division. They'd have to have a lot of things go their way. I think they're better than they were last year, and they won 10 games last year. And contenders as well.
Yes. This is a very talented team. And let's not forget, Jordan Love was injured early in the season. Jordan Love also had a bunch of injuries at the skill position, especially the wide receiver. So when you look at that hampered Jordan Love for most of the season. And we didn't start seeing I think the Jordan Love that most people expect towards the end of the season. So you get a healthy Jordan Love. You get healthy skill position players. Matthew Golden, their first round pick, you enter him with very explosive wide receivers from the University of Texas. Now you're cooking. Now you're going to talk about an explosive element in the passing game. Yes, they should. I think here's the one question that I have for the Green Bay Packers. Can we get a pass rush going? Defensively, they need more juice on defense. If they can get more, if Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, can find a way to get more juice, yes, they're more than talented enough to do it.
I agree with you. Matthew Golden was my favorite receiver coming out because of his speed, his route running, and great hands. If Jordan Love could just eliminate 3 or 4 throws a game, we're talking about an MVP. He really reminds me, ironically, of Brett Favre because he's so confident in his arm that he'll just try to indiscriminately throw it in there sometimes when it's not there. But he has immense ability, and I think this offense could be scary good.
I agreed. The offense with Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs. The defense, to your point, second year in Jeff Hafley's scheme, not as much learning this offseason. I think it could be a lot smoother on that side of the ball.
Jeff Hafley, Xavier McKinney, we hope you're watching because the challenge is there. Tonight, we hope you're
Mình đã kể xong được cái ô vuông này rồi nha.